Finished first Heretic. It was really good.
Welcome to Warhammer Book Club.
You just started... It comes after Nemesis, right?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. You read that in a week?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm on the Prospero Burns.
Oh, see, I wondered. I was like, wow.
Prospero Bundem.
Prospero Bundem. First Heretic was really good. It covers another view of Istvan 5. But it starts 43 years before the Horus Heresy. So it's another one of those books leading up to the events. Covers the Word Bearers.
You learn about how Erebus gets his poo addiction.
You do not learn about Erebus's poo addiction. I think Erebus is already evil as of the start of that. And I say evil because I used to say, well, he was on the side of Chaos, which isn't evil. Chaos is evil. The Emperor is good.
Poo is delicious.
I picked my side. Yeah, so it covers kind of Lorgar's descent. Obviously, Word Bearers, bad boys. Erebus is still a shit-eater. Caraforin's an asshole. But the whole thing is about another guy, Argol Tall.
Oh, I thought you were saying his name was Another Guy.
Another guy. Main character. Yeah, other boy, main character. And his kind of dealings inside the whole shit Magoo thing going wrong. And yeah, everything just goes fucking wrong, like, the whole time. Even in the end, it's just like, this is wrong. It shows more Primarchs than we've seen before. We get introduced to Korax, who is maybe a super badass, who fucking knows. And then we see Conrad Kurz of the Night Hunters/Haunters. I don't actually know. I read it. And that's cool.
You're useless.
Whoa, dude.
Like Resistance.
Brutal. But yeah, it's cool. First Heretic was way better than I thought it would be. There was a lot of downtime in the middle where it's kind of like, and this dialogue is happening, and this dialogue is happening, and this dialogue is happening. I'm like, I know these aren't going anywhere. Like, I know there's no need for this. You're just
filling time.
Yeah, you're adding to the Word Bearers area, and it's like, I've seen it in Fulgrim. I've seen it in Horus Rising. I've seen it in
Mechanica.
Fly to the Eisenstein with the Death Guard. Like, I've seen the progression of these. I don't need to see it again in this much detail. That book was 500 pages. Could have been 400. But it was good. And then I started Prospero Burns, and I thought it was going to start right out after 1,000 Suns. And I don't think it's even close to that. I think it's like way fucking before, because they're talking about like surviving in the cold, frigid weather Fenris, which is the space wolves
planet.
Yeah,
I know that.
And it's like, yeah, throwing axes and spears, and I'm like, what time period is this?
Well, no, even in the book I'm reading, Buddy Boy Bringar is all like, he has fond
his wooden handle.
He has fond memories of like hunting beasts in the wilds with just a regular ass spear.
It's because he's been alive for 200 years, though.
It's like Lionel Johnson.
Yeah, where he fist fights lions,
and then he fists them,
and then he fists lions.
No.
No!
Don't taint him. He's cool.
Lionel Johnson is super badass and probably would have been the War Master had Horus not been found first.
Dude, he'd kick Horus's ass.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. What about you, Chris?
I'm almost done Battle for the Abyss.
Yep.
That book's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say a lot of people died. Not like...
Not
a large number of people have died, but a large number of the people involved in the story so far have died.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That book is pretty much Eisenstein 2 in a lot of ways in terms of the themes and the things that does. And I really like the...
Kind of takes place during Eisenstein.
Yeah, pretty much. Similar kind of just warp chase thingy, flee, that sort of stuff. And shit going wrong in the warp as well. Mm-hmm. Which is weird because like their ship wasn't damaged going into the warp like the Eisenstein was, yet they still experienced some similar things. Is that just something that can happen anytime?
The warp storms are getting worse.
Okay.
It kind of seems like no matter the strength of their Geller fields, things still get in.
Yeah, and
like it stops like the massive invasion from the warp, but things are still able to trickle through.
Yeah, when when the Emperor set out to find all the Primarchs again, the great night time,
the long night.
Thank you. was fading and the storms were quietening down, but now they seem to be acting up again, and I think that's why he went back to Terra to find an alternate way to travel so that they don't rely on the warp.
It's taking him a long time, and he never gets it done.
He's trying to figure out how the Eldar made their webways.
He's been at that for like 20 years, though?
Yeah.
Instead of wondering why doesn't he just go talk to them about it?
Or, kill a few thousand of them and, like, take it from them. Like,
I don't think they have it anymore.
Why?
Because they almost went extinct. Like, all of their...
But how do they get
stuff
around
were
them?
destroyed.
Just, like, point to point, literal?
Seems like it, yeah.
They just take the long way?
They might have something else. Maybe they still use their webways. Regardless, I don't think the Emperor can just capture them that easily. I don't know how it works. But yeah, one guy trying to figure out millions of years of technology. Makes sense why he can't just do it.
Good stuff.
Or maybe he's purposely not doing it.
Maybe he has another plan.
Space plan.
Getting the webways together would make sense, though. Then they don't have to go into the warp at all.
Maybe they're going to broker a partnership between the Eldar.
The Eldar. I think...
I wasn't sure what I wanted to say.
Guilliman, in the 40k series, is slowly becoming friendos with the Eldar.
So he's still alive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's on the cover of some of the books.
Sweet.
Guilliman.
I like that. You can't take down...
Gilliman.
It's Guilliman.
It's Guilliman.
It is Papa G.
McG!
It's McG.
I like that, though. They call themselves the Ultramarines, and they... only ones that pretty much intact from...
They're the most Ultra.
Yeah. Plus Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been reading Battle for the Abyss. It's good. I'm almost done. I don't know what else to say about it without going into specific details. I like the characters.
They're all cool.
My favorite's your boy Motep.
One of the 1,000 Sons.
1,000 Sons, not a word bearer.
No.
I was trying to
and that's one of the cool, like, Fellowship of the Ring things, is it's got World Eaters, Space Wolves, Ultramarines,
and 1,000 Sun.
And 1,000 Sun.
All on a team together.
Bringing the ring to Mordor.
Yeah.
Except it's battling for a starship.
Yeah, a big one.
Oh, a huge, big...
Mega big boy starship.
And just the ways they clash because of their different tenets and stuff like that. Like, they're trying to do stealth stuff, and the World Eater's like, what is stealth? Butchery?
I've never heard of this word before.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of funny, right? Because as of right now, at least where I am, the legions that meet up seem to kind of do similar things.
Yeah.
So they kind of just
keep
coexist.
Yeah.
Like they do it like... It kind of seems like the Luna Wolves or the Sons of Horus kind of do the same sort of things that the Death Guard do. Like, maybe not as meticulously. Like, the Death Guard are much more brutal, up in your face, and they just...
I think all of the ones it starts you with are all reasonably similar, but once you see, like, the 1,000 Sons and the Space Wolves, it's like, the only thing that is alike about them is that they wear Space Marine armor.
Yeah. and even then, really their armor, like, Space Wolves are like, I have pelts and tooths around my neck.
And then
and their fangs,
the
bite you.
Sons are like Egyptian reds. Like
it's like, here, let me apply this jewel to my forehead for my third eye and space magic. And then the Space Wolves are like, you're a witch! Burn them at the stake!
It's pretty amazing.
Like, that's most of the inner conflict has been Space Wolf doesn't like space magic. Space magic is necessary for space survival, though. And, like, Ultramarine in the middle of that going, listen, we can't do shit without shit, and...
We can duke it out after.
Yeah, but it's like, look, we need him, and fight me now! Okay, I guess we're fighting, and I won. Mm-hmm. Now will you at least comply? It's like, I will fight with you, but we're not friends anymore. Like...
What is happening? The Space Wolves seem like the moodiest bunch, which is why I like them so much. I'm a pretty moody bitch.
No! No, you're not. Don't
They're super fucking cool though. The Space Wolves I think are my favorite Legion.
And they're Swedish.
The audiobook, the person reading the audiobook is making them Swedish for Chris. So his only exposure is Swedish Space Boys. Right, so good. Tell us of your endeavors.
Yeah, how's Eisenstein's and...
Okay, do you guys remember where I left off? Because I don't.
You?
They fought in the basement.
Oh, they hadn't even gone to the warp yet.
Okay. So
they hadn't fought in the basement.
Then they hadn't even fought in the basement. So, yeah, they were on their way to confront them in the launch bay. That's what it was.
Okay, so your boy Garrow rounds up a posse, and he's like,
"We're going in the basement.
We're gonna go take care of Grolgor now."
Like, I know the ship is huge, but I just picture them, like, opening the basement door. Going down
just, like, walking down the corridor.
You fuckers committing some heresy down there?
Slams the door shut.
Well, it was fucking one of
yous! That's why I pictured every time. Because they kept going down and coming back up throughout the whole thing. And it's just like, back down the fucking basement.
Did you forget the salt?
Maybe it's
salt targets.
Maybe it's an escalator.
Yeah.
Should have to just casually ride it together.
Yeah, like he's super bad. We go, fuck him up! Slowly going down. Like flashes forward, they're at the basement, gunfire, everybody dies. They're covered in blood going back up.
That's what I imagine, like, something happened in, like, The Darkest Dungeon. I think that the game, right? Where it's, like, one scene you're fine, next scene you're covered in blood. It's like...
Everybody's screaming, like, one person's tearing their own eyes out. Next thing they're going forward, the eyes are, like, Band-Aided up.
We're sitting around a campfire, like, eating a marshmallow, but just covered in gore.
This is fine.
Okay, so then, Garrow confronts Grolgor.
And Grolgor has more dudes, right?
Yes, he is outnumbered. I think it's like 10-3 or something like that. Or 10-4, how many dudes. Garrow doesn't have a lot of dudes. He has Voyan, the kid. No, not the kid. The kid's upstairs. Garrow, and then I think it's...
What's his name? Decius? That's the kid that he didn't...
And then Hakur, maybe, is with him.
Hakar? I don't know. I thought I read it.
Haker.
Haker?
Haker.
Hakur? Haker? Hakur?
Haker?
You are.
Hakir.
That's why I was saying your. Hakir.
Oh.
I don't know, whatever it is.
Oh.
Anyway, they have a skirmish. Garrow is very clearly better than a lot of just normal Astartes because he kills like 3 or 4 dudes, no problem. He has a tussle with Grolgor, and Grolgor ends up killing his housecarl with a knife, throws it across the ship at him, it seemed.
And then, Caleb, right? Yeah.
Whatever, I forgot his name, doesn't matter. And pales him on his knife, which I assume is actually just a giant sword because Astartes are huge.
Yeah, like it's a knife in his hand, like a little short dagger, and it impales Caleb and it's bigger than him.
Yeah, because Caleb had shot him with a gun to prevent him from shooting Garrow.
Yes. That's right, yeah. And then he had Garrow dead to rights.
And then he turned and went, whee! And then he was dead.
Because did the bullet just like, it didn't do...
It hit the gun and made a miss. Right. And then he turned and threw the knife and killed Caleb. So anyway, and then that shot that Grolgor did actually hit one of the
virus
life eater virus containers. Whoops. And everybody started panicking, and Caleb's last
thing is
wish and testament is to close it off.
Yeah, he seals Grolgor and his boys in there.
What a badass.
Yeah. And,
Caleb, the hero this country needs.
And they're like banging on the door and they're screaming and
stuff.
They're
getting life eaten.
And Garrow is like... Yeah. Anyway, so then...
Yeah, they pace now.
Excuse me?
Paste.
They have... They vent it out and stuff so that it doesn't linger.
So it kills someone else in space.
And then they go upstairs and to the ship, and they're still plotting their course. Except now they're actually going through with it. They receive a data slate from Typhoon's ship that says to kill Garrow and his men.
Yeah.
And to bombard the planet.
Doesn't Garrow like send a fake message back pretending to be Grolgor?
They do after that. That's right as they're trying to evade him to get to the warp.
Oh, they're like, yeah, misfire. We need to reload, reposition.
First, they say that they're having weapons malfunction. And then they're saying they're having an engine malfunction. And then they're just kind of drifting, essentially. But they're drifting towards where the jump point is. Kind of hoping that nobody will notice.
All the while, Eidolon's getting more and more suspicious.
Eidolon's
just looking out the window like...
Something's fucky with that ship.
That ship, it's drifting. Where is it going?
Also, I guess a point I didn't realize until I read Eisenstein was that part of the reason why Tarvitz was able to get as many people as he was to safety wasn't just because Garrow let him go in the first place, but it's because Garrow's ship was likely going to be the first bombardment. It was the one in lowest orbit, I think, directly over where the fighting was, right? So because they didn't fire, that probably bought them just a little bit more time on top of that as well.
Actually, that's cool. So then, while they're kind of drifting through space towards the jump point, the Vox officer
betrays them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what a little bitch.
Betrays Garrow and is like, what you're in his head. He's like, what they're doing is wrong. I'm gonna tell Captain Typhon.
I'm telling on you.
And then he tells him, but Typhon was already suspicious anyway.
Yeah.
So, because he hadn't heard back from Gulgor at all.
Yeah.
So he was like, that's kind of weird that he wouldn't boast about killing Garrow. That's weird. Now I'm gonna Vox him, and then the dude's like, oh, they've actually stolen the ship and shit. And then Typhon's ship drifts into an intercepting position, and then they have to try and maneuver around it. Yeah. Meanwhile, Garrow snaps the dude's neck.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
It's very satisfying when Astartes just snap the neck of humans.
Well, you suck.
So good.
So then the chase ensues, and they're outmaneuvering Typhon's ship while taking massive damage because Typhon's ship has massive lance cannons on it. It's cool how they described how the cannons make no sound in space.
Yeah.
Except you just see the light.
Yeah.
And then it hits something and then it explodes. It's that's a really cool way to describe it because it's true. There would be no sound in space.
Realistic science.
It's kind of cool that they attempt to add some sort of realistic feel to the warring.
Yeah, they base a lot of it in
obviously
realistic science.
I mean, because they're overpowered, right?
Yeah.
Every unit. I mean, the bullets they're shooting are probably this fucking big and
explosive rounds.
Most of the chaos aside, this seems like a feasible way that we could go if humans weren't as stupid as they are.
Yeah. I mean, genetically engineering humans. I mean, I'm sure we're not that far away from starting to at least attempt it.
Yeah.
To try and make people live longer, right? Because that's always going to be the goal,
because
is to live
the darkest
longer.
timeline, it won't go that way, sadly.
Yeah.
But it could theoretically happen.
We need science to better lop people's dicks off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been forewarned that something like that is happening, apparently. So, anyway, so they're running away from Typhon's ship and they're getting closer to the spot. They take a ton of hits. The Eisenstein is puttering towards the finish line.
Yeah.
And Garrow's like, we're going to warp. And they're like, we're going to warp. And he's like, we're going to warp.
Yeah. Decius and
Disney World
and Vought. No, it's
Vought?
Carle? I don't know what it is. Whatever. Carrier? I don't know what his name is. The ship captain, the actual captain.
Yeah.
Is we can't go to warp. The ship will never make it.
We'll blow up.
We're just gonna die.
Yeah. On top of the warp storms, which are bad enough,
our
ship's in such a shape.
Yeah, and then Garrow's having this troubling, I don't know what to do, and he looks over and he sees Keeler, who has entered the room.
Yeah.
Walks over, basically starts fondling his balls and says,
You know what to do.
You have this one choice and you must make it. And he's
you have one shot, one opportunity.
Exactly, and then Garrow's like, fuck it, we're doing the warp. And then everybody's like, wait, what? And then he's
You're right, Keeler taps her shoulder, breaks her in half. To warp!
Where'd she go?
Oh, that's cute.
So they enter the warp. Just before they're entering the warp, it's been yelled from across the room that the Geller field is failing as they're going into it.
Good old failing Geller field.
So, it's not looking good already.
Yeah.
It's hey boss, you know that thing that makes it so that the ship and the space around it is normal?
It's gone.
It's kind of fucky. Like, it might work for a bit, but...
We got like 30 seconds. Well, how long do we need to get back to Terra? 4 days?
It's like, what'll happen if the thing goes down? It's like, well, you know how there's like floors and like walls.
What if those were lava?
What if those were concepts? Like, just...
And Garrow's like, you're telling me we can walk on the walls? We're never using a Gutterfield again.
No, the walls are oceans,
their head
sir.
against the desk. It's like, I know he's not stupid. Why is he being stupid? Anyway, so they head into the warp, and they're going by, I can't even remember the person's name. I tried to read it and I just moved past it. The navigator's name. Yeah. It's like Savanera or something like that.
Shalalala.
Sure. And they get Vox from his quarters, I think, or around his area, like immediately, that him and the other navigators are going insane. Oh yeah, like they're just losing their shit.
Yeah. They're like, the warp's all sorts of bad.
And then Decius reports that Hacker or whatever you want to call him. No, I refuse. Haker's not stupid.
Hickory sticks.
That there are intruders on the boat, and they're like,
the fuck there are?
Like, how is that even possible?
Rewind.
And then it shows it from his perspective, and things are literally phasing into the room out of the wall, and they're just killing Astartes, just like that, just dead. And
space.
And they do fighting and stuff, and then
they do fighting and stuff.
You know how it is.
Well, I mean, like, it doesn't talk about when they have to shit or anything. But I'm just assuming they kill some shit and then have to take a dump.
I just like the idea of like, what's your work? What do you do for a living? I do fighting
and stuff.
Mostly fighting, though. I do it.
But these creatures are coming in very weird forms. Yeah. Some are humanoid-esque forms.
Some are just like
some are like blades, I think it was saying. Like
spooky boys of the
weird.
Of
the they have like blades for arms, I think.
Yeah. Made of knives.
Yeah. And
Edward Knife Hands.
And then where does it go from there?
Garrow eventually makes his way down.
Garrow and his boys are on the way. And they come out on the other side of the hallway, I think it says, and then they just kind of like a pincer move and crush them in the middle.
And he quickly realizes what they are.
Yeah, like they're
the reanimated corpses of Grulgor and his boys.
Yeah, like that.
Wait, is it that part?
No.
I thought this was just the Warp Boys.
Those are the Warp Boys, and then they move down. It's like literally the next page. They move down a hallway and stuff, and
then they see the spooky.
I mean, it talks about how the bodies are reanimating inside of the toxic section, and the door has become brittle because of the Life Eater virus.
Yeah.
And then, so it just leaves you up to imagine, like, they probably just punch their way through the door and come out, and then they see them down a hallway, except it's, like, the crew. Like, not the other Astartes that died, it's the crew members that are, like, crawling towards them, I think. Yeah. It didn't really say.
Nightmare fuel.
Isn't Caleb among them, too?
Caleb is among them. You do find that out, and Garrow very quickly beheads him.
Yeah.
To put him out of his misery and be done with it.
Yeah.
And then actually behind them come the reanimated Astartes, and it turns into a fight.
And it goes into like really painstaking blood. Description of just like gaping, seeping wounds and festering.
Who's the author for this one?
It is James Swallow.
James Swallow.
He does good gross.
He's going to be writing. I think he's the guy writing the Siege of Terra, the first novel.
Nice.
And before that engagement starts, or during it, Garrow looks up and he sees like this figure, like it looks like a shadow or a ghost, a spirit, and he's like Mortarion, and it nods, and I think it turns out it's Nurgle, trying to get into his head.
Oh shit. Because that would make
right. Well, it said the Lord of Death.
Yeah.
Or Decay. Sorry,
yes.
Lord of Decay, and anyway, he puts a vision into Garrow's head, showing that's after they kill all the warp creatures. Yeah. He puts a vision into his head and he shows melting Astartes and stuff. And
I got it mixed up. I thought that was when he touched one of the astropaths.
No, she impales herself on his sword.
Oh, that's what it was.
She runs towards him all crazy. And
yeah, that's when he went down to check on the...
Just like, oh my god, are you okay? Herself, and he's like, she wasn't okay. So she is now, though.
That was when he was told, like, yeah, the astropaths are going crazy, you need to check this out.
Yeah.
And yeah, he walks in and just immediately...
Kicks the door open and just, like, one's hanging from the chandelier.
I did, woo! But anyway, yeah, so the fight with reanimated Grulgor, they take casualties on obviously both sides.
And those casualties become...
And as they're going, they get Vox that the Geller shield is like literally seconds from falling.
And Garrow's like,
pull
us out of the wall! Yeah, and they're like, that's gonna kill all of our Astro dudes, the ones that are like pretty much all insane, and even the ones that aren't, they're all gonna die. Blow them up. And
Garrow has like a vision of, I think it's Keeler again, and she keeps running through his head over and over again, like, this is the right thing to do and stuff. And so Garrow's like, bring it out, and they're like, but we could run into a star literally. Like,
we have no idea where this is going.
And then, even if we do land in like safe enough space, we're not going to be able to leave it because this is going to kill her.
Yeah. We will be stuck there.
Yeah, so then Garrow just like, fuck it. And Grulgor and his boys, their essence of living, or whatever is living inside of them, comes up out of their bodies and fades away.
Yeah.
And,
although not before Decius takes a pretty nasty hit to the arm.
no, to the shoulder.
Was it the shoulder?
It's always the shoulder. It's always the shoulder.
Arms can be cut off.
Did he do the move? Did he like let himself get hit to close the distance?
Not that time. Okay. He dodged, but
that's what it was. Like, he saw an attack coming like
from behind,
way faster than than it should have been, and was able to dodge the brunt of it, but
still got the cutty boy.
Yes, and then Decius looked down at his hand, and he was starting to see the decay and stuff like running up his hand, kind of thing, and so he lops it off. He lops off his own arm.
It wasn't fast enough.
We don't know that yet.
So then,
we might know that.
I'm assuming it's how that's going to work, but I haven't got that far, obviously. But
you might be.
They get out of the warp, and then the last thing that I was at was Voyen and Garrow are walking through the Medicae, or the makeshift Medicae now, looking at all the people that are injured and stuff, and they come to Decius, and they're talking to Decius. They're talking about Decius, and Voyen's like, I don't know what else you want me to do. I've done literally everything I can. And then he talks about how the virus or the contagion is changing to mimic other contagions to fuck with the body.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing that the sword did, right? So then, that's basically where I got to. And he's currently in the conversation with Enacting Cruz.
Action!
If you want to make it like a true Astartes.
Well, that's good. That's good progress.
Yeah, I sat down when I got home earlier, and I read for like an hour.
You got, my two favorite parts have yet to happen, so.
I'm assuming there's a third, there's always like part 3 or something.
Held back on his punch.
I'm assuming that, well, now it says they're just sitting in space with no way to contact anybody. So I'm assuming that either something shows up to kill them, or it's more corruption from inside. I mean, there's only 2 things I could possibly think of, unless like somehow another like frigate or something comes through the warp that isn't going to be attacked by the warp. You know what I mean?
Also good guess.
Or maybe Garrow makes more decisions that is going to have people around him questioning him even further.
That doesn't make any sense. That couldn't happen.
That's like actually a common thread between Eisenstein and Battle for the Abyss is like people around the
main guy constantly
just
questioning.
Like, he's like, well, we have no choice. We got to do it this way, and everyone's like, yeah, sure.
So which one is the main character for Battle of the Abyss then?
Cestus.
Which one?
No, Hector. Hector's the main character.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the characters. What legion is he part of?
Ultramarines.
Oh, so the Ultramarine is the main dude?
Yes. And then there's the World Eaters.
Is Skrull.
Yeah. Skrull is the main guy for the World Eaters.
Thousand Suns is Motep. And then the Space Wolves is Bringar.
So it's just the 4 of them?
But there's
They have a whole gang.
there's a lot of Ultramarines, a handful of World Eaters, 1,000 Sun, and like 3 squads of Wolf Boys, along with the new Wolf Boys.
He calls them Blood Claws?
Yeah, the Blood Claws are like the initiates.
Okay.
The new boys.
Yeah, he has a bunch of those.
Yeah.
When they was first talking about it when they introduced Bringar and he's like fighting Blood Claws, I'm like, oh, Blood Claws like crab people or something.
Like on the space station, just all these fucking crab people showed up and he's just throwing them the fuck.
Well, so
like, it's not even a fight, he's just throwing them.
It cut to Bringar fighting Blood Claws, and I thought that was just like, we're just moving to somewhere else in space and time.
No, it's still in the space station.
Yeah,
it is.
No, it was literally the next room over. He's just drunkenly fighting his own guys, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah, he's fighting some crab people here. This is good shit.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I'm cool if you guys give me a little bit of a hint. Am I on the right direction for what happens to the Eisenstein?
Which one of those 3 paths?
Well, it's either something comes out of the warp at them or something happens inside. So tell me if I'm right.
Some stumbles across them.
Something stumbles across them. Like a different...
Stumble's a strong word for it.
Is it? They're in space.
It's not.
They're in space
it's
and they
not.
find them?
It's not random chance that.
I thought it was.
No.
Why the fuck isn't it random chance?
So is it like a different alien race then?
No.
No, it's the Marines?
It's
somebody.
Some boys.
Is it Chaos Space Marines?
No, they're not technically around.
It's crab people.
Well, I mean...
It's crab people.
I mean, Chaos Space Marines were the guys that Nurgle made, right? Because they're
no,
Chaos.
those are the Death Guard still.
Well, no, but they're Chaos...
Corrupted, but they're not like Chaos Space Marines. They don't go by the Chaos Space Marines. They still go by the Death Guard, I think. Even in 40k, I think they still go by Death Guard. I think like the Word Bearers primarily turn into the Chaos Space Marines, from what I've gathered, but I don't know. No, like the Chaos Space Marines have like their own separate armor and everything.
More ornate.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Whereas, everyone else is just like corrupted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool stuff.
Cool. You have a very long hair coming out of your beard.
Might be hair.
Over to the side. There you go.
Get it off!
Okay, you're good now. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We're only half hour into this thing, so.
Which God of Chaos do the Chaos Space Marines follow primarily? Because Death Guard is Nurgle.
Batman been Superman.
Alright, that's the end of the podcast.